Hi guys, as promised, the Club Sound System Facebook group exclusive from Stereo in Bielefeld, Germany. This is my hometown, and this is actually the club where I worked as a technician, where I first worked with sound systems, and I learned a lot of stuff. Because I had so much time under the week to tweak and tune the systems. I installed here my first big system, NY inspired big stacked system, and we have like 5 systems in this building, so we can check a lot of systems. What I will not do is I will not post any measurements. The reason is, for some of the speakers I'm not allowed because I work for the manufacturer. And but the main reason is actually I don't think that it makes sense to to give you an idea, I had to post I have to take 48 measurements per floor and build then an average out of it, and still then you only could see the speaker response, but it will tell you anything about how it sounds, because so I could take the crappiest speaker and make it have a perfect response with an FIR filter, but it wouldn't show you or it wouldn't sound good. So it's I'm not a big fan of posting measurements from anything in a room. I think it's great for a mixer or anything. So we arrived on the first floor, and sorry, I didn't look at the camera. And let's start the video and talk about the system. As always, if you have some questions, just put them in the comments, and I will try to answer them, or someone else will answer them. You can, even if there is something you believed I've said wrong or anything, please tell me. We will talk about it. And actually, I like to be being challenged. So because sometimes I am wrong, and for the same reason that I built a group that people can learn, I will learn as well. So this is right now a closed club. We have the situation in Germany that no clubs are allowed to open. And so it's not this is the dance floor normally, but there's stuff standing on it, so it's not ready to open, but we are here to talk about the system, so we will do that. As you can see, or as some can maybe recognize it, is the Void system. This is, no, it's not the newest system, it's actually the third oldest in here. It's the subs are double 18-inch bass reflex. These are Stasis 218. Tops are Air Motion. We have 12-inch, 8-inch, and 1.5-inch. No, I'm not wrong. It's actually really a 1.5-inch, not 1.4. And so the question that I normally get is why I choose Stasis 218 over Stasis X in this installation. Yeah, it's double system, not 4-point. As always, I do these videos without any script, so I will jump a bit the topic. Sorry for that, but that's the way it is. Okay, so I got constantly asked why I'm using Stasis 218 in this installation, or why I've chosen them. The thing is a lot of different music styles are played here, from reggae to trap, to electronic dance music, to disco, and even some concerts be done here. Personally, I have the feeling that the Stasis X, it's not the best solution for the typical trap mumble rap stuff. It's not very good for reggae, and so please keep in mind, if I say something like that, it does not mean that it's not possible to use it, and it will sound good, but especially for trap, I think it needs a bit slower response, and this is what normally a bass reflex or classic bass reflex system is. It's quite good at. It's not so punchy. It's a bit more relaxed sounding, but on the other side I needed to play fairly high to couple to the emotion. So as you can see, the 12-inch, it's the horn opening, it's not that big, so it's not possible to have it play very low. So the sub has to play a bit up. What I normally do is not crossing the sub much higher, but I look at how the sub behaves above 100 Hertz, and then we'll choose the crossover function according to that. So sometimes maybe I would not choose 24 but 18 or 12 or maybe even 6. And so same goes if I go with Liquid Riley or with Butterworth, and then I can couple it up pretty nicely to the emotion with some experience. Yeah, it worked great. This is actually one of the systems that people like most, like the normal clubbers and the DJs. They really like to play on the system. It's tuned very relaxed. It has a live tuning and club tuning. What I did with the live tuning is it's super flat. With the club tuning I always cut out a lot of 3000 Hertz. I'm absolutely fine if the system sounds a bit dull, especially with lower volumes, but never ever is a system of mine allowed to, or a system that I have tuned to, hurt your ears. Only if the owner of the venue or the club tells me to do it, and this happens quite often, especially with techno or industrial techno. They want to have it a bit hurting the ears. I never will do it, so my systems are always very relaxed. Sometimes people coming from the live sound tell me that there's something missing, was actually is true, but the system here or in any other club is not for like 120 minutes live music. It's more like for 8, 9, maybe even 13 or 20 hours live music, electronic music or dance music. So the people are listening for a much longer time, and my part as a sound engineer is to keep the people on the dance floor. Maybe this sounds strange for some people, but if people don't stay long in the club, they don't spend money in the club, so no one makes money. So a system should be pleasant. The amplifiers are, let me see if I can go through it. So they have them sitting on pallets. See, it's called pallet in English. I don't think so. It's direct translated from German. So in German it's Palette, and so they can just go under it with a manual lift and drive it away, which is pretty nice. And then we have like 2 PowerSoft X4 sitting there, and the X4, they really need cleaning, do they? It's unbelievable. If I don't come here that often, look at that. Greasy, nasty. Clean your amplifiers. Dirty stuff. Yes, the X4s have like sitting on 16 amps, 400 volts. So there's going to an amp rack is like a 32 amp 400 volts connection, and the idea is it's not really necessary, so the X4 will work the same with like only one phase, but actually it has shown that it's a pretty good idea to have it like that, because if there's something happening, the amplifier will still work with 2 phases or even with 1. Monitor system, as some have maybe spotted already, is Nexo PS10 sitting here, no subs, and the GDK controller you can see sitting above it is for the monitor system. So this is that system. I talked a bit about setting it up. I will try to give you a better angle of the room because it's quite small. So I'm standing right now on the back wall, and yeah, it's not big. So in Germany we are not allowed in this part of Germany to smoke in the club. So people can go out here and have a smoke. So it's this is a quite crowded place, and a lot of people dancing here. You can go over there to the toilet. So yeah, it's like a traffic hub. Yeah, let's go to the main floor then, shall we? Okay, arrived on the main floor. This is like very typical end 90s, early millennium sound system for a bigger nightclub. So this is, we'll try to get a bit better picture of it. These are, some have already recognized it. It's a bit dark in here, sorry for it. Dynacort Alpha X190, so it's 90 degrees. I think they have made a version with 60, so the double 15-inch are kinda horn loaded, sorry for it. That it's, we'll see if I get a bit more light on the other one. No, not really. Some have spotted it. It's like normally you will have GBL slots, 2 of them sitting there, but this one is modified. So the double 15-inch are in there the normal electro voice drivers. I think a Fatal driver would be a nice upgrade, but like always, it's a bit, this is like a normal club. It's not dedicated for super good reproduction quality or anything. It's like a normal club, and for that the systems are amazing, and so I can understand the owners that they don't want to spend like a few thousand euros just for new drivers and installment if the old ones are working, and the improvement would be not that much for like the normal club goer that who wants to get fucked and drink and listen to some music. Yeah, the 2-inch is it's gone. It was an electro voice as well. It's now DJI Audio K8, Spanish brand. I tried a lot of different 2-inch drivers on it, and the DAS is a very, very classic sounding and acting driver. It doesn't like to driven very hard, but the volumes here are not so high, so it's perfect. It's a, with the old school touch, it's a bit, if you know old school drivers, you know that there are not, they have a specific sound to them, and I wanted to create that. I didn't want to have like this classic look and have the driver sound like a modern line array or anything. And I am super happy, but like with all normal drivers, older 2-inch drivers, they it doesn't go up very high. The double slot solution wasn't an option for me because they use it at the live venue. You can get rid of these elements here, and then this is the stage. And the problem is, so the comp filtering was all over the place with the normal solution with 2 slots sitting next to each other. And so I have chosen a small horn from the German company Limmer in combination with the BMS 4522, pretty small driver. It is working. It wouldn't work if you drive it very hard in here, but since it isn't, like already mentioned, it's quite nice working, and it's playing super high. It's unreal. A lot of sound engineers coming in here using the system cannot believe how high this driver plays. And the radiation pattern is very evenly. The matching to the DAS driver was not easy, but it was doable, and it's a very good sounding system. It really is. I'm always surprised when I go back here and listen to it, and it's like, okay, for that amount of money, it's crazy good, and it will be really difficult to replace it with something sounding better. You really have to spend serious money to get anything new sounding better than like this one, tuned very well, which was a surprise, because with the factory settings and everything, I didn't like it at all. It was just awful for my ears. Yeah, it's 4-point, like mentioned. So normally the DJ booth, it's mobile, it's normally not sitting here. This is the live situation with the front of house setting. They can lift up the DJ booth with a manual lift and pump it up, and you got to pump it up and turn it around and put it over here, and then the subs sitting under the stage right now will sit left and right of the DJ booth. They have settings for it to because you need different delay setting for the subs if they're sitting in there, and EQ settings as well, or if they're being like 2 meters closer to the dance floor. These are the Dynacort Alpha B6, I think, or B3. One of them, of the B3 or B6, I'm not quite sure, is the classic W bin. These are the double 18-inch planar waveguide. These things, these are okay, modified as well, having 18-inch drivers in it. The 18 sound driver, 18 sound 18 LW 2400, I think. No, it's the smaller one, the 1400, not 2400. And they were okay, like I said. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they're working quite good. With some boosting, they reach down quite nicely, but actually this is for me the weak point of the system. So better subs, lower playing subs, faster playing subs, cleaner playing subs would be nice, but again, I can really understand that they're not upgrading it. X-overs or the X-over of this system, they are a bit different between the live settings. We have here the live setting and the club setting as well, and they differ a bit. So the subs are crossed over at 75 Hertz to the tops. So we're talking about the acoustic crossover. Electronic crossover is a bit different. So with the subs for the live, the subs are crossed. No, it's for both for live and club. It's both Butterworth 24, and the tops are crossed with in the club settings Butterworth 12, and for the live Butterworth 24. Then up it goes to 720, crossed to the 2-inch with Linkwood Riley 12 dB for the live this time, and Linkwood Riley 24 for the club. And then it goes up to 7,400, and then it's crossed over to the 7,400 in the club setting with Linkwood Riley 24 to the 1-inch, and for the live setting it's crossed over at 4,500 with Linkwood Riley 12 dB. Why did I choose this X over madness of this system? Actually quite easy, because it sounds the best. If you measure a system like this is a bit of a Frankenstein system. I start measuring everything in a lot of different places. Like, I think when I started it was 60 measurements points, and I do that without any EQ or anything, or no crossovers, and then I look at the phase trace, look at how everything is behaving, then I use the EQ points I need. Then after I've set the EQ points, I choose crossover frequencies, and after that I will apply the room EQ. And this is what I came with. So it's working quite nice. People liking it. Got a lot of compliments from live sound guys that are a bit open-minded and not like, oh, we need this brand or this brand, especially smaller productions. So normally in Germany it's not allowed to have a level above 99 dBA averaged on 30 minutes, and or 135 dBc averaged for 30 minutes. So normally they play well in this limit here. It's not crazy loud on this floor, and this is the reason why the system is working so good in here. I think it's really necessary to tune the system to a specific level. So our ears have a different frequency response with different levels. So if you tune a system for, let's say, 109 dBA, it will sound a bit strange with 99, and it will definitely sound bad with 116 or 118. This is what really one has to keep in mind if he tune a system. And so this is what you have to talk, or if you are in the club and you see, okay, they play it louder, then you have to switch it around. And especially the frequency range around 3000 Hertz, but some other stuff as well for the bass, and the system has to sound balanced. What I did with this system, it's a bit more open sounding, because the room is quite high, even when they have the truss flow lower, fly lower, sorry, then it's still an open feeling you have on this floor. So the system sounds airy as well. I tune the system for the room and not against the room. So if it's here like an airy room, then I will make it sound open. If it's very small room and a very dampened room, I will keep that in mind as well. I don't like to tune a system against the room. I think it's wrong, and it will not work out, because if we are in a cathedral and it will sound like in a studio, it will be strange for us. And I try to amplify emotions with my systems and my tunings, and I cannot do that if the system makes you feel weird or strange or uncomfortable or anything like it. So this is why it's quite airy here, and the tops are pretty big. Normally I cross over at around 100 Hertz. Here it's crossed way lower, because if you have these big tops, you kinda expect that the 15-inch will kick a lot, or not the 15-inch, people don't think in this way, but that the tops, because they are big, that they are really present in the sound. So I made it that way, so they are very present and you really feel them punchy sounding. And yeah, this is what I had in mind when tuning that system. So now we are in the in the amplifier room of the main floor. So 2 PowerSoft X4 as well. Yeah, I sometimes get the comment that the X4 is not capable, or PowerSoft as whole brand is not capable of powerful bass. This is like absolutely bullshit. These are running on 2 ohms, the subs, and with no problem at all. So they run just fine the summer, in the winter, and all the time. And yeah, it just doesn't have any problem. And I don't see why a specific brand should not be able to produce sub properly. It was planned to have 4 X4s here to not run the subs on 2 ohms, because the cable run is quite long. You can fight that in Harmonia, but it's not perfect. And but the owners decided after hearing it on 2 ohms that everything is fine, and they don't need the upgrade to 4 amplifiers. And then it's because it's only 2. Like always, proper power supply. If your stuff has to work, it really needs power, and this is why we're using it. And yeah, we don't want to have a call in the middle of the night, there is something happening to the amplifiers because one phase is down or anything like that. So next will be zone speakers. So nothing too crazy here. These are like Electro Voice Avid. A few of them are here for the bar. Yeah, this is what a nightclub looks like under the week, so quite normal. I think it's actually looking quite good. I've seen much worse places, or places that are much worse. Not many zone speakers. I'm not a big fan of them, because if you have too many of them, they will bleed on the dance floor and make everything worse. So good thing there is no bottle service here or anything, no VIP bullshit. So we don't need many zone speakers. Here's another one. It's a Dynacort Mx. These are MX-12. They are okay. If you open them up, you really ask yourself why they cost that much money. So drivers aren't that good. But I think this is an area gone by. Speakers are much better today than they were like in the time when they were launched. These are MX-15. These are just a joke. They're super bad. It's like very cheap 15-inch drivers, a 15-inch driver coupled to a 1-inch driver, and the crossover is at 3500 Hz. So the 15-inch is expected to play up to 3500 Hz. Then the 1-inch is coming and has 90 degrees radiation. So it's like up from 800. It's like maybe only, not sure, going down to a degree pattern of 30 degrees up to 3500, and then it's white. It's just awful, but it's okay for like this. Here's normally a bar. Right now we are on the stage. Here's normally a bar, so it's just for background to the bar. They are turned down a lot, so no problem here. They have a second floor up there. It's for code check and stuff like that, and then the people can go down here. So yeah, maybe I will take some shots upstairs so you can have a look. There's no speakers upstairs. I decided against it because I don't think it's necessary to have some music upstairs if you looking for your jacket or your coat. So we'll go upstairs with you guys. You can have a see the dance floor. This dance floor as well is not that big. They can actually move the structure up and down. Normally it's down, so it's a bit more cozy on the dance floor. So dance floor from above. And when we go over later on to the other floor with the Function 1 system, it's behind that wall. But right now we're going back down to the second floor, or for you guys the third floor. This has changed quite a bit. Right now it's a kitchen. It doesn't help the sound quality. It was much better before that. They now are trying to fight it with some acoustic dampening, which is good, but it's still so much worse than it was. But what is it? This is a double 18-inch front-loaded horn, like really front-loaded, and a real horn, not a hybrid, not a bandpass horn or anything. This is really a front-loaded horn. And so a lot of you guys will recognize it. It's called a Bursa. It was not invented really by Richard Long. Richard Long scaled it up. Like a lot of his designs are not like his invention, but he took other designs and took them on a new level. This is not a Richard Long. Back, I think 10 or 15 years back, the club had the chance, when I was working here, to buy Eastern Acoustic Works BH882, which is their name for their version of the Bertha. Richard Long started working together with Eastern Acoustic Works, EAW, and they worked together and produced a lot of speakers for him. And yes, so we bought it from England. Actually, if someone knows where it was coming from, it would be quite nice. I think it came somewhere from the Midlands in England, not sure. It was coming together with EAW kick bass, and the top was an MH662 or something like that. I have to look it up. We don't bought the rest of the system, just the Berthas. And I used them, I modified them with different drivers. They were loaded with RCF L200. I think that's what they're called. If I'm wrong, please just correct me. And then I put in their 18 sound L2400. They were a big upgrade, really liked the upgrade. And I tried in the BNC. They had in the Ministry of Sound, not quite sure which model number. I didn't like it that much. I preferred the 18 sound. The RCF was good as well. I blew every driver in them because, or the DJs did, because I didn't know what I was doing actually, because you cannot have like a 18-inch driver that can handle, I don't know, 800 watts in a cabinet like this and give him 800 watts. It will get destroyed. Then I started to modify it. I realized when I modified the throat of the sub, and the rear chamber as well, it really smallest changes did a lot to the sound. So started rebuilding it and modifying it, and then put this one in here, which is a modified version. It has a completely different rear chamber. We cannot look at the rear chamber. No, it's closed. The rear chamber looks, it's much bigger than it is normally. In there is a Fatal Pro driver, and if you guys, some of you know me, I'm really critical with my work, but this is one of the best subwoofers you can buy or you can have for a specific type of music. I would not really use it for any urban trap, anything music, but if you are into classic New York inspired or house techno, anything, could be at Detroit as well, Chicago, it's really really good. It is, it's just so fucking sorry, on point sounding, did not need a lot of EQ, and it's really amplifies emotion. It's crazy. So we had a lot of different configurations in here. So they were standing, sometimes they were sometimes ago they were standing here. Maybe some of you guys have seen the older picture. The entrance was here. Then because the engine was there, we couldn't put a stack in there, so subs were here coupled with double 15-inch kicks sitting there, where now there wasn't a wall, where now the absorber is, there was no wall in there, and this was quite nice as well. It was 4-point then, but then we decided when they rebuilt the club that it's now time to have like a proper stacked system in here. And so from another club, the owners had this turbo sound system sitting around, and actually before the void system was on the other floor, the turbo sound system was in there. And then I thought to myself, maybe this is a nice combination, because actually I'm a big fan of the Floodlight, which is quite strange because I really like the Floodlight, but I really don't like the Function One Res 2. I don't like it. I like other Function One speakers. I'm no way against Function One, so just to say it, because I work for Void, a lot of people, or I work for Void and other brands, they think, oh, he doesn't like that and this is wrong. But I don't like the Res 2, and this is quite strange for me, because the Floodlight is quite similar from the layout. Okay, it's a folded horn, this and that, but people who know both speakers know that they're actually quite similar from their specs, and one I really like and the other one I really didn't like, so this is quite strange for me. These are TSW718, double 18-inch, and they have the original drivers, nothing changed. They are not even reconed, so they are like, I don't know, 20 years old. Everything is fine. They measure good. They measure up to spec. Everything is fine. So with the Floodlights, there is a lot of modifying going on. So you know what a Floodlight is. It's a low light as well. So we have the 12-inch. It's the original 12-inch. I think they got reconed. I'm not quite sure. It's an old system, and I'm getting older as well. I think the really old guys now laughing at me. But yeah, the 6.5-inch is the new one from Precision Devices. They released a while ago. I think it's still possible to get them. They're not selling them off the shelf like they did back then. Yeah, but it's you can still get it. It's a big upgrade. Really liked it. On the 1-inch, I actually think this is one thing everyone has to do: get rid of the old electro voice driver in there. It's really bad, even if it's only covering 8000 kilohertz and upwards, but it's really bad. In there is the, after some testing again, the BMS 4522. It's the only driver that blows out in the installations here. It's roughly 2 years. After 2 years, they get destroyed. It's okay. It's a very cheap driver, and it's very good sounding. The shizzle is for real. Yeah, it's so nice sounding. Really big fan of that driver. Yeah, crossover frequencies. Since they changed the musical program in here, it's still isn't tuned very classic old school New York, if you can use actually a term like that, because so many different sound guys tuning systems in so many different ways. But classic New York, like if you think of the Richard Long DJ crossovers, it was tuned like that, but it isn't anymore. Crossover is 85 hertz, but there was 24 going up to the kick cabinets. They go up to 180 with Linkwitz Riley 24. I tried a bit around, and actually I like that combination. Then the 12-inch is crossed like the 6.5-inch, like it should, stated in the manual. The 1-inch is going a bit lower. I think it's 6,500 or something like that. I tried a lot to get it right. I didn't like it playing up that high, the mid-range, the 6.5 inch playing up that high. I didn't like that, and so I changed it around. I had to go back to talk about the subs, because so many people are used to call bandpass subs or anything like horn subs, but they are not really horn-loaded subs. They are horn-loaded, but not really like a front-loaded, a real horn. So this is like a real horn, and it's crazy how efficient and in that how loud it is. The drivers are limited in there, are limited to 400 watts. I didn't want any distortion in the signal, so I wanted this as clean as possible. This is the reason why the limiters are engaging super early, and because it's getting hot in there. I'm using like Peltier elements to cool them down on the backside of the rear chamber, but it's still, if you drive them hard, it will get hot. If the driver's getting hot, power compression will set in, so you will have like distortion, and I don't want that. But even with this 400 watt limit, I had to turn up, or it's the other way around. I had to turn down the sub by 6 dB so that it's not overwhelming the tops. And if you know floodlights, you know they are loud. They are really loud, but it's crazy what is coming out of the sub. So it's so loud and so efficient, and it's like so endless relaxed sounding. Really big fan of it. So just want to go in there because it's not comparable to any bandpass horn loaded, pseudo horn loaded thing. It's really loud. I think maybe if you have the same volume that they have, like airspace volume, then you would invest in double 18-inch. I think you will have the same output. So they are not practical or anything, and I don't say this is like a wonderbus, but it's quite nice to have this raw, old school. It's in a way it's American muscle. It's like having like a 70s muscle car with a new engine in it, and this is really nice to have. A lot of users of the floodlights are a bit surprised about the splay angle I have chosen. Yeah, I just did one thing. Back when I installed it, I had a lot of time, not like I have today, like no time at all. And I almost took me a week to find like the perfect angle. And normally users from or Function One owners or anyone coming in here, they're really surprised because there's almost no phasing if you're standing in front of them. They couple really good. It's so it's a bit wider than what the manual states, but actually it's working really good. And so monitors are a German company called Glockenklang. It's double 10-inch with a soft dome tweeter, and yeah, it's nice sounding, nothing too spectacular, but like two of them sitting there. You can see, maybe I can get a picture of the soft dome. No, it's called Glockenklang Impulse 10-2 or something like that. Yeah, I could link you to the menu or something like that if you want to have a look. Yeah, dB meter is like on all other floors. So I'm quite sure you have a lot of questions about this system, but yeah, just write them in the comments. Or if I had to choose the system for this kind of music and room, today I wouldn't choose this system. Wow, big surprise, everyone is like, what, he just said this is a really good system. Actually, with the old room layout, honestly, this was one of the 10 best systems worldwide. I know, really it is. It was crazy good. We're going to go to the amps, and this will explain a bit why it was so good. It's still very good, but nowhere near than in the top 10, maybe top 200 or something like that. And this will tell you how much of a difference the room can make. So from one of the best systems I know to like average good system, because small changes in the room, we are not talking about much. They just added some panels here, not the acoustic panels but the wood panels. This was open. Yeah, then they changed around a bit of the back side of the wall, and there was it. It's not much, and it's really destroyed how the sound in this room worked. Why I wouldn't choose that system for this room. And now they're playing a lot of urban stuff, a bit electronic music, but mostly urban. So these subs are not perfect for urban hip-hop, trap or anything. They are too fast sounding and not slow enough, and they are actually low enough. They are hitting like 34, 33 easy, -10, and it's good enough. But I would go for this club now with double 18-inch bass reflex, double 15-inch, or maybe even 12-inch kick, and then some nice bass reflex tops. I think this would be a much better solution for this room with this type of music. If they play electronic music like house, techno, then the system really comes to life. So last stop for the first tour is the amplifier room of the second floor. The controller is Lake DLP. Then for the sub duties we have Chrome Macrotech, and these are not bridged, so one channel is driving one driver. The Macrotech 2400 are actually driving the kick bass. Same goes, one channel, one driver. And no, it's actually wrong. Two drivers per one channel. Sorry. And then we have this. It's a German brand. Already mentioned it on the monitor system. It's called Glockenklang. Amplifier is called Bugatti. These are actually studio amplifiers. They have no sounding at all. They are super flat, super boring sounding, which is quite nice because then you can tune the system to your liking. And they only have, I think, like 150 watts, but it's more than enough to keep up with the levels desired. I was quite surprised how loud the 12-inch goes, so but it's working super nice. And yeah, it's one for the LF, MF and HF of the Turbo Sound Floodlight. So guys, this was the first part of a two-part series about the Stereo Club. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and as I already mentioned, ask, and if there's nothing to ask, then ask nothing. I will keep that video only for the Club Sound System group. A little bit of a goodie for that we have grown so fast, and like a lot of people contribute, and actually it's not much work for me because everyone is really behaving well. Some little problems but nothing too serious, and really enjoy the atmosphere in this group. So thank you guys, and keep up the good work and the good content. I will try to do the same, and yeah, see you soon online. Bye bye.